Back in January, my boyfriend Jasper and I boarded our first one-way flight, and since then we've spent the last few months traveling the world. Traveling can sometimes be quite chaotic, especially when you're jumping from place to place, trying to cram in as many things as possible. So one thing I've really started to miss after traveling for a few months is having some sort of routine, particularly a morning routine. We're currently staying on a beautiful island in the Philippines called Boracay, and if there's anywhere that's going to help me become more of a morning person, it's here. So welcome to my 5:30 a.m. morning routine. Not every day starts this early, but I am really enjoying taking things a bit slower, taking more time for myself and making the most out of every day. Because time at each destination whilst we're traveling is limited, I never want to waste a moment. And because I'm not particularly a morning person, it can be so hard to not hit that snooze button, but I actually love waking up before the sun rises. The island is so peaceful. There's something so magical about getting up before the rest of the world does. Where we're currently staying is right next to the beach. So once I've brushed my teeth, taken out my heatless curls, which I actually love by the way, although the humidity just makes them drop out, and also it is a little bit breezy this morning, so let's see if they stay in. Regardless of where you are in the world, mornings pretty much always start the same, but it feels very weird getting straight into a bikini first thing in the morning. Although I'm totally here for it. I kind of wish I did bring a few more bikinis with me because I feel like I've worn them all so much, but the one that I'm going to be wearing today is from Opoly, and such a cute one. I do love myself a blue bikini. Once I'm ready, it's time to head out the door and watch the sunrise. It's in moments like this that I sit back and realise how grateful I am to be having this crazy experience of travelling the world. I feel like this is constantly spoke about on social media, but I do want to also say it is that once you truly start being grateful for things, your life will change so much. And I genuinely think being grateful has made me become a better, happier person. So when you actually take the time to recognize the things that you are truly grateful for, I feel like your whole mindset changes. So that is one thing to make sure that you add to your morning routine, is taking the time to just appreciate your life, where you're at, and being grateful for things, even if it's the smallest thing ever, such as an iced coffee, because you know we all love those around here. After sunrise, it's time to head back to the room, and I didn't actually go in the sea today because the tide was really far out. Also, my heatless curls have fallen out, which is a sad time. So now it is time to get ready to go to the gym. Now, this is something that I used to be super consistent with when I was back home. I was in such an amazing routine of working out, and even on the days where I wasn't motivated, I would be disciplined to go. And the feeling I get after working out is the reason I love going. But when it comes to traveling, I don't always have access to a gym. Sometimes we have super hectic days that the last thing I want to do is work out. So I've tried to develop more of a routine of just going when I feel like I want to go. And generally in the morning is when I'm most motivated. So naturally, I find it easier to go first thing. Generally, I think it is so much easier to get exercise in whilst you're traveling because I am no longer sat at a desk from 9 to 5. I used to always have to consciously think about exercise and like, have I got my steps in? But now, without fail, pretty much every single day we're averaging 10k steps just from the lifestyle that we now have. So that's the one thing I do love about traveling, is that naturally you become a more active person. So today we're just going to be doing a leg session. I tend to keep my workouts to about 40 minutes, so I don't feel like I'm wasting my day away in the gym. It's time for skincare. Now, I like to keep things quite simple, partly because I only have a limited amount of luggage space, but also I find my skin is better when I don't overcomplicate things. So I love using the ordinary rosehip seed oil. I've used it for absolutely years. I just love the way it makes my skin feel. I think the number one thing that affects my skin is hormones. When it comes to that time of the month, that's when I end up getting spots and pimples and everything, and then they start clearing up throughout the month and then they come back again. So it kind of really depends on where I am in my cycle, but keeping my skincare simple does also really help. I love this Bondi Sands Eye Spy Cream. I find it brightens my under eyes so much. And of course, a number one staple for me whilst we're traveling is SPF. So I always add factor 50 to my face. Most of the time, I never wear makeup in the day just because it's so hot, so humid that I will sweat pretty much anything off. But if I want to add a little something to my face, I tend to just fill in my eyebrows, and I do have super oily skin, so I love adding a little bit of powder to my face just to make it a little bit more matte, because naturally throughout the day I will get a bit glowy. My diet varies a lot whilst we're traveling, and that can be quite difficult because I do have Crohn's disease. I tend to just stick to the foods that I know my body can handle. So at the hotel we're staying at in Boracay, we actually get breakfast included, which in some ways does make life so much easier. I had forgotten how nice jam on toast is until now, and I love starting every single day with this. Menu for breakfast changes every single day, and today they had an English breakfast on there, which I was just so excited to see, so I had to get one. I try to eat as healthy as possible whilst we're traveling, but the number one thing for me is to stick to eating foods that I know won't upset my Crohn's disease, and try and avoid getting food poisoning or anything like that as much as I possibly can. We're staying on Bullabog Beach in Boracay, which is definitely the windy part of the island. So we're gonna head over to White Beach, which is definitely one of my favorite beaches that I've ever been to. If you know me, you know I love a Starbucks, and I do have to start my day with an iced coffee. I feel like it's an essential part of the day. My go-to drink in Starbucks is an iced caramel macchiato, and it is 10 out of 10, so delicious. And that pretty much wraps up my morning routine whilst traveling the world. I really hope you guys did enjoy, and I shall see you all again very soon. Bye.